How do y'all have no debt? I need to know. There are days like today where I just want to go on a rant about debt. I have $40,000 worth of debt, and that does not include my student loans or my mortgage, because those are things that they get paid when, well, the mortgage gets paid all the time. Obviously, student loans, whenever they come back on, okay, whatever, I'll have to pay that. But I am talking about daily living expenses debt. How do you not have debt? Maybe you guys do and you're just not telling everybody, and that's perfectly fine. Do whatever is best for you. I don't normally tell people, but I've been sharing my recipes, and I'm doing a series on share my recipes to help pay down my debt, because how else am I going to do it? It's going to be a continuous cycle. Like, I'm not spending money on like getting my nails done, going buy new clothes, new shoes, new bags. No, I'm getting diapers. I'm getting wipes. I'm getting formula. I'm getting groceries, things that are a necessity for us to quite literally stay alive. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this or goes on rants about debt, but something's got to give. The economy's got to change. I can do some things on my part as far as maybe I can make more money.
At this point, being in debt in America is basically a rite of passage. Like, you turn 18 and boom, credit card offer in the mail, student loan approval from the government. And next thing you know, you're $50,000 in the hole before you even know how taxes work. People are out here living paycheck to paycheck, but still owe thousands. It's not just because folks are being reckless either, it's survival. Rent is insane, groceries are high, and wages haven't kept up. So, a lot of people are swiping cards just to cover basics. And yo, credit card debt just hit over $1.3 trillion. That's a new record. And it's not the fun type of debt where you're buying new shoes or a vacation. It's like, I bought gas and eggs and now I owe Visa $600 with 25% interest. Then you have student loans, bruh. There are people in their 40s still paying off degrees they got in their 20s, some of which didn't even land them a job in that field. It's like, congrats on your diploma. Here's a lifetime subscription to debt.
The actual chokehold my debt has on me as a 26-year-old with over $100,000 in student loan debt. Like so many other people, my family didn't know anything about money, anything about college. I fully applied to everything on my own, and they encouraged me to take out loans with Sallie Mae, the demonic, evil student loan providers that are always pushing you to take out more. And I always see other people talking about this, and in the comments there's always people like, ooh, take accountability, like you're the one that took it out, you chose to take it out. Yeah, I did, and I can still be pissed about it. It literally, sometimes I'm like, someone take me out. Like, I do not want to be alive dealing with this crippling stress on my shoulders. I just wish I was a Nepo baby like all of my fave influencers that I watch that had no student loan debt, no rent, nothing of that, and I'm filled with envy.
And let's not forget car loans. Some folks are paying $700 a month for a used car. Used. Like, it's giving luxury payments for a regular Honda. It's like everyone's just carrying invisible backpacks filled with debt while trying to live a normal life. Go to work, pay bills, maybe treat yourself to something small, then boom, overdraft. But here's the crazy part. The system wants you in debt. Credit scores, interest rates, financing, it's all built around borrowing. If you try to be debt-free, they call you suspicious. You pay off your card every month? Are you really using credit responsibly? Like what? So yeah, Americans are deep in debt, and a lot of them feel like they'll never get out. But somehow, people still show up, grind, raise families, and keep going like it's normal. That's the scary part. It feels normal now.
Today is one of those days. I am a lot in debt. And I don't make enough money for me to be in this much debt.
Last night I had to log into my student loan account to print out the paperwork to have my taxes done today. So I got to get a glimpse of my student loan balance for the first time in, I don't know, presumably a year. I honestly don't remember knowing what I owed still. Now, for a point of reference, I graduated in 2011. Okay, so I've been making student loan payments for almost 14 years. I actually did the math. It was about 165 monthly student loan payments that I've made so far. Okay, now I went to pharmacy school. I'm a pharmacist. That's a doctorate degree. It took 6 years. I went to a private school, not because I wanted to, but at the time, there were only 6 schools in the state of Pennsylvania with a pharmacy program.
2 of them were state schools, 4 of them were private. Chose the school I chose because they gave me a $12,000 a year academic scholarship for the first 4 years. So I got $48,000 worth of academic scholarship. So that's why I chose that school. So my education, even with the scholarship, cost still like $250,000, roughly. Now, I'm fortunate my parents paid for a really good chunk of that, over $100,000. I don't remember the exact numbers, honestly, of how it all washed out. But I do know when I got my first student loan bill in the mail, well, I almost shit a brick, but my balance was like right around $125,000. Okay, 165 monthly payments on $125,000. How much do you think I still owe? $78,000. Yeah, I don't know. The math isn't mathing. Now, full disclosure, I did refinance at some point, which is a horrible idea. Like, at the time, it seems like a good idea because the monthly payments are so, like, overwhelming. But in the long run, you're screwing yourself when you refinance a student loan. You just are. So 165 monthly payments. I never deferred it. I never missed a payment. And I still owe $78,000. And I've been out of school for 14 years. My oldest turns 10 next week. So realistically, if she decides to go to college, I'm going to be still paying my student loans and likely still owe like $30-some thousand on my student loans when I'm trying to figure out how to pay for her college. And I don't know what the solution is to this whole situation. I don't think loan forgiveness is fair. I don't think taxpayers who didn't go to college should have to have their tax money pay off the student loans for those who did choose to go to college. I don't think that's fair at all. But I do think something needs to be done because universities are charging like obscene tuition. Student loan companies are doing predatory lending to children and setting up people for like a lifetime of debt. Like, you're starting out your adult life with like crippling debt. And I don't know what the solution is here, but something isn't working.
Everyone's always like, Brenda, why are you working so hard? Why are you doing a full-time job and posting on TikTok all the dang time? It's because I have $78,327 in student loans. And you want to know how much unpaid interest I accrued in the month of February? $523.93. And this is me paying at least a minimum of $2,000 per month. Started with a little bit over $150-something thousand because I had the bright idea of going to grad school so that I can graduate in a healthcare job to help people, but not get paid enough for the amount of student loans I had to take out. Now, my fault, I went to a private university, but still, it shouldn't be this hard to pay off student loans. But based on my PT salary alone, there is absolutely no way that I could pay this much with just that salary alone and live a breathable, decent life. Make it make sense.
We have 68,000 people over the age of 62 who are still paying their crippling student loans. Student loan payments for federal loans are now due again. For 4 years, those federal loans were paused, but they're not paused anymore. It is estimated that millions of borrowers are going to have their credit hit this summer because they have not started making the payments again. In Georgia, we have 1.7 million student loan borrowers. Nationally, we have 47 million students who have borrowed. And many people feel like they will be paying their entire life.
To people who have extremely high credit card debt, I just want to ask, how did you get to that point? Like, I'm not trying to judge you or anything like that. I just genuinely want to know, how did you get to that point?
$93,000 in debt, and I'm going on 2 vacations this year. Sue me. Boiled Chicken Nugget says this is insane debt and you just don't get it. Actually, I do get it because I tried the Dave Ramsey method. It did not work for me. It was too restrictive and I didn't pay off any debt. What did work for me though was this time last year, I decided to do it my own way and I paid off over $30,000 in debt. I cash flowed an entire trip within that year to Seattle for $1,083 total. I am a budget traveler. This is a hill that I will die on. If you can cash flow trips, activities, why not do it? You only get to be around your kids when they're young once. And my daughter is 18. We are changing seasons of life. And so we are going on a road trip to Arches, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, Zion, and Vegas. And then we're gonna go on another trip to the Northwest and do all of the national parks there. We love the Northwest, we used to live there, we wanna go back. But this is a hill that I will die on. You already got yourself into debt. And you suffer the consequences of that every day, paying interest, feeling shame, feeling guilt. So why not enjoy your life too? As long as you're still getting out of debt, you're just delaying it. That's all. I'm never gonna change my opinion on this.
How do some of y'all have $27,000 in credit card debt? I just want to know.
Years ago, I was in $60,000 of credit card debt, so I'll tell you exactly how that happened because I also never thought that I would get there, and it really does happen kind of fast. So the number one factor for me was the fact that I had so much anxiety and shame around money that I would actively avoid my finances. Like, I couldn't even look at my bank account, let alone sit down and make a budget. So all this in money advice and how to get yourself out of debt and whatever was kind of irrelevant to me because if I couldn't even get myself to the computer to like open my bank account, I couldn't do the rest of it. And because I didn't have a budget and was avoiding my finances, it was really easy for me to not know how much I was spending month to month on like subscriptions and various expenses that you accumulate over time. Plus, this was like the worst mental health period of my life. So my ADHD was rearing its ugly head and I was impulse spending. I also just had a very nihilistic attitude of like, it doesn't even matter, whatever, I'll just deal with it later. But the thing that you don't realize when you first start getting into credit card debt is how quickly the interest compounds over time. And this is how you can go from having like $8,000 in credit card debt to $27,000 or $60,000 or whatever it is, because all of your cash is now going to two things. It's going to rent, maybe a few different utilities payments that you can't put on a credit card. It's going to your minimums, right? And your minimums on your credit cards are growing every single month, even if you don't put a single new charge on that credit card. So when all of your cash is going to your credit card minimums or even paying off a little bit more than your minimums to try to like get ahead, you're still having to put a lot of your purchases on credit cards because you're out of cash. So that combined with the money avoidance to me was this perfect storm of like, I just didn't know how quickly debt would accumulate once it started. Like once the ball started rolling, it gets away from you really fast. So the question is not how does someone end up with that much debt? The question is like, what are the patterns that got you into debt in the first place and that are keeping you from dealing with the debt? Because those are going to be the same patterns that turn this into like a wildfire that spreads really quickly.
At the end of the day, being in debt has become part of the American experience, but it shouldn't be. Millions of people are out here juggling bills, loans, and credit card payments just to keep their heads above water. And while the system might be stacked, more people are waking up, asking questions, and pushing for change. So the real question is, how long can this go on before something gives? If you found this breakdown helpful or eye-opening, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the channel grow and lets us know you want more content like this. Subscribe to Orbit Point for more real talk on money, power, politics, and the systems shaping our world. And if you've ever been caught in a debt trap or found a way out, drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching Orbit Point, where we connect the dots so you don't have to.